Hey, Burden. Made this for you real quick. Well, making this for you real quick. Um, so just for ignore the mess right now. The wiring's all over the place because I've actually got to replace the Pi. Anyhow, so for wiring purposes, for power, you want to go to keep everything as clean as possible. Wait, wait, wait. Oh, it was a mic. Okay, to keep everything as clean as possible. Um, Go, ground to I to S, positive to I to S. And then, sorry. All right. Ground from helders to the ground to I to S. Power from helders to power from I to S. Don't bridge it into anything else. Just run a dedicated line. You want your power as clean as possible going to the I to S and to the amp. Amp power to I to S, ground to I to S. But then, I'm sorry, Grant. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Okay, ground to. Okay, ignore everything I've said till now. Ground to I to S, power to I to S. From helders to the I to S. Power for the amplifier to helders. Ground from the amplifier to helders. The outputs, you want them bridged across both speakers, or if your speakers perform better, this is where you have to try and see which one you like better if you have two speakers. But you can either have them in parallel, or you can have the speakers in series. Some speakers perform better based on which one, because they're designed to run at different resistances. I haven't decided which way I'm running these two yet. But back to the wiring. So for the audio, at the I2S, you want the... Oh, once I find it. Alright. You want the A ground. It's an audio ground. It's actually got filtering on it to help prevent noise from going into your amp. So you want A ground to go directly to your amp, and another one to go... I'm sorry, ignore that. No, that's right. A ground directly to the amp, and A ground over to the headphone jack. You want them to have their own. That prevents, any kind of noise and fun stuff like that. If you don't want to run, say you're running into space issues, you could run a ground from the amp, like from A ground to the ground on the amp and then to the headphone jack. But ground is where you pick up the most noise, so the best thing to do would be to run it all the way back to the I2S. Now, here's where it starts to get to the tricky part. So for mine, I bridged, let's see, what color's which? All right, I bridged left out to the right out at the I2S. And then I run right out up to the potentiometer. Then from the potentiometer to the right in of the headphone jack. Then I run it back from the right out of the headphone jack back to the amp. Now then at the headphone jack, you just bridge right in with left in. You don't have to run a second wire to it. So hopefully that answers any of your questions, and might be a little bit easier than reading, this to this to this to this. But one way might be easier, the other way might be easier, but that's a simple breakdown. Well, not so simple, but that's the breakdown of how I have it wired up. So, good luck!